I sacrifice everything for my daughter, Emily, over 30 years. I pour my blood, sweat, and tears into her future, working double shifts, nursing her through fevers at dawn, and scraping together tuition when scholarships fall short. I even let my own dreams slip away so hers could blossom. But today, I stand in our cramped kitchen, heart pounding in my throat, and tell her I've lost my job. Her eyes harden. In one breath, she calls me a useless burden. In the next, a parasite. She shrieks at me to pack my things and leave. The words hit like ice water. My legs tremble. The afternoon sun angles through the window, painting her face in sharp relief. A face I once kissed goodnight, now twisted in anger. My chest tightens. Pride rises in me like a flame I can't extinguish. I will not wilt beneath her harsh gaze. I will not crawl back, begging forgiveness. I gather my purse and my few belongings. In this moment, I decide I will show her that what she sees as weakness is only the surface of my strength. I lean against the pale yellow wall of the third-floor corridor, my back brushing chipped paint that once gleamed like fresh butter in sunshine. The air here is stale and warm, heavy with the distant hum of traffic and the faint clatter of neighbors closing their doors. A narrow window to my left frames our cramped balcony, where a single fern droops in its pot, its leaves dusted with grime. Below, the street stretches in a dull ribbon of asphalt, littered with discarded flyers and faded candy wrappers. I press my palm flat against the cool plaster, fingertips tracing the slight dampness, and close my eyes. I exhale slowly, tasting the tang of old plaster and the faint odor of Emily's last dinner, spilled broth, burnt rice, and unwashed dishes still huddled on the kitchen counter. Behind me, the hallway light flickers, casting long shadows that dance across the linoleum floor. The low murmur of the building's ventilation system rattles in my ears, like a heartbeat I once took comfort in. But today, it only reminds me that I have nowhere left to hide. I remember when I first moved into this apartment, 30 years ago, clutching my nurse's uniform and a battered suitcase. I was 29 then, determined, hopeful, armed with nothing but steady hands and a heart full of love for my family. I took night shifts, floated through the wards, and saved every extra penny I could. I believed in sacrifice. I believed in Emily's future. And I believed that home was wherever she felt safe. Now, at 60, every ache in my bones reminds me of those years. My shoulders carry the weight of long hours spent lifting patients from sterile beds. My hands bear the faint scars of needle pricks and calluses earned by scrubbing floors and turning aching bodies. I have been gentle and resilient both. So gentle, I endured Emily's tantrums when she was little. So resilient, I comforted her through every childhood illness. Pride kept me standing when exhaustion should have broken me. I push away from the wall and take a slow step forward, the corridor tilting beneath me. My heart still pounds with the echo of Emily's final words, the clatter of her apartment keys striking the marble threshold. I taste vinegar in my mouth, a sharp sting of betrayal. Yet beneath the ache, something stirs, a quiet resolve that has lived in me since the first time I saved a patient's life. I will not let this pale hallway define me. I will not let Emily's anger break me. I smooth a stray strand of silver hair from my face and press my hand to my chest, feeling the steady rise and fall of determination. This corridor may have seen my deepest pain, but it also witnessed 30 years of unwavering love. And now, as I step toward the door, I carry something stronger than fear. A secret built on years of careful planning, waiting patiently for this very moment. I trail behind Emily into the living room, my chest tight as though it were wrapped in barbed wire. Her voice echoes off the painted walls, each word a sharp stone thrown against my heart. "All my friends and co-workers still have jobs," she spits, brandishing her phone like a cudgel. I must steady myself against the sofa. The fabric is scratchy beneath my fingers, the cushion lopsided from years of use. I swallow against the knot in my throat and open my mouth, but before I can speak, she waves me silent, her eyes flashing impatience. She pulls up a group chat screenshot, her finger stabbing the air. "Look at this. Brenda just got a promotion. Karen's family took their annual cruise. They're not sucking off their parents." She laughs, cold and brittle. I feel sweat bead at my temples, the acrid tang of fear rising in my mouth. I taste old coffee and regret. In that instant, I'm 30 years younger, racked with self-doubt, but I force my shoulders back. I try to explain. "Emily, you know how hard nursing can be." Her laugh cuts through me sharper than glass. "Nursing? At your age? You ran that air conditioner all day long last month. Your electric bill is half my rent." She thrusts a bill into my shaking hands. The paper is slick with her fingerprints. My pulse drums in my ears. I close my eyes to block the swirl of fluorescent light overhead. My chest feels hollow as I think of the nights I worked triple shifts, the hours I sat at my sewing machine repairing uniforms so I could slip a few extra dollars under my mattress. I see the faded stitches in my old clothes. I remember the taste of hospital antiseptic. I want to remind her of all this. But the words catch, thick and useless in my throat. She grabs the bill back and flicks it away like a roach. She paces, heels clicking on the laminate floor. "And what about groceries? Every time I visit, I buy toilet paper because you never have any." She crosses her arms. I glance down at my shopping list pinned to the fridge door, seared by a stray spaghetti sauce splash. The list trembles in the magnet's grip. I step forward, hand extended, but she recoils as though I carry poison. A dull ache spreads from my stomach to my spine. My hands go cold. I close my eyes and inhale, counting the seconds. 1, 2, 3. I taste cinnamon from the candles I once lit at Christmas. I remember Emily's laughter as she tore open presents under the tree. I clutch the edge of the counter, knuckles whitening. My voice is small when it emerges. "I sold our china set to pay last month's rent." Her eyes widen, not in compassion but irritation. She points to the antique cabinet. "Don't give me that. You had that set for 20 years. You could have sold anything. You just chose not to." The words sting like acid. I stagger back, nearly tripping over the fringe of the area rug. The threads catch on my slipper. I tug free, breath caught in my chest. She strides to the kitchen table and sweeps every object off it, my teacup, my keys, my worn leather purse, into a rumpled pile. The porcelain cracks under the weight and shatters. A sharp pain explodes in my chest. The pieces glitter on the tabletop like shards of my dignity. I bend to retrieve the handle, fingertips grazing the jagged edge. A thin river of blood wells and warms my skin, blood on broken porcelain. The room tilts. But anger flares inside me, a phoenix rising from the ashes of shame. I straighten and let her fury hit me full force. This is her version of control. I refuse to let it define me. I clear my throat, voice firm. "I may have lost my job, but I haven't lost my mind." She sneers. "Oh, spare me. You lost your job. You have no money. You're a burden to me. Pack your things and get out right now." Daughter angrily. "You lost your job. You have no money. You're a burden to me. Pack your things and get out right now." I slip out of the apartment like a shadow, closing the door softly behind me. My pulse hammers, fast, fierce, but my feet know exactly where to go. Down the narrow hallway, past the flickering light, to the small door at the end that hides my study. I pause before the brass knob, hand trembling for a heartbeat, then push open the door and step inside. The air here smells of polished wood and old paper, of lavender sachets I tuck in the drawers at the start of every season. My desk lamp casts a warm pool of light across the room's organized chaos. Ledgers stacked neatly in one corner, framed photographs on the shelf. Emily as a toddler, me in my nurse's whites. And behind an oil-painted landscape, hung at a slight angle, the outline of a hidden safe. I close the door gently and inhale the comforting hush. My fingers seek the edge of the painting. The canvas depicts a sunlit meadow in spring, flowers bursting in pink and gold, a robin perched on a twisted branch. I slide the painting aside, revealing a small panel inset in the wall. My breath catches as I trace the grooves with my nail. I flip the hidden latch, and with a soft click, The panel swings open to expose the safe's dial. I press a fingertip to the cold metal. I hear the faintest click as the tumbler turns, first to 20, then to 45, then to 72. Numbers hammered into my memory during sleepless nights of anxiety and hope. On the final turn, the safe door swings open on hushed hinges. I lift the lid and pause, letting my heart settle. Then I slip my hand inside. The first thing I feel is the soft leather of a stack of bank passbooks, their spines worn from the countless times I fingered them, reassuring myself that my secret remained intact. I pull them out one by one. The nurse's savings account I started at 29, the modest retirement fund I opened at 40, the brokerage account I funded with salary bonuses and spare change. I place them carefully on the desk. Next comes a sealed envelope marked "Emergencies Only." I tear it open and unfold the crisp ivory paper inside, official letters from mutual fund managers, statements from index funds, certificates of deposit matured long ago. Together, they total more than $500,000, money I have quietly amassed without telling a soul. Not Emily, not even her father. My breath feels light now, buoyant. A thrill of triumph surges through me, mingling with relief. I close my eyes and remember every sacrifice. The shifts I covered when my friends slept, the overtime I logged when colleagues took time off, the pennies I clipped from coupons to add to my nest egg, every exam she aced, every holiday she enjoyed, every milestone I cheered from the sidelines, built on this hidden foundation. I gather the documents into a neat pile, passbooks yellowed at the edges, contract agreements signed in my looping script, a premium credit card embossed with my name, and a generous limit. I place the card on top, its cold surface gleaming under the lamp. I feel the weight of possibility in my chest, a steady calm replacing the tremor of fear. In the corner of the room sits my old writing desk, cluttered with journals I kept in hospital break rooms, filled with poetry and plans I never shared. I brush away the journal on top and see, scrawled inside the cover, a single sentence I wrote when Emily turned 18. One day she'll stand on her own 2 feet, but I will keep a safety net woven from my own strength. I run a fingertip along the inked words. The memory floods back. My pride when she said goodbye for college, my anxiety when she moved in with her fiancé. Yet always the unspoken promise remained. I would be there, even if she didn't see me. Now she has cast me out, but that promise endures. Leaning over the desk, I whisper to the quiet room, "Now is the time." My voice is soft but steady. I collect all the documents into a leather portfolio I once used for patient files, then tuck the portfolio under my arm. I reposition the painting, slide the panel shut, and lock the safe behind it, leaving no trace of my secret. My reflection shimmers in the window glass. For a moment, I see that weary nurse I once was, shoulders stooped from long nights, hair streaked with gray, smile tempered by hardship. Then I straighten, chin lifting, and meet the gaze of the woman I have become, composed, resolute, and unbowed. I step out of the study and back into the corridor, the portfolio secure against my side. The hallway light flickers, then steadies. I smile, feeling power course through each quiet step. Every creak in the floor beneath me is an echo of years of careful planning. Every ding of the elevator call button is a reminder that I can return to that apartment not as a supplicant, but as a benefactor. The elevator arrives with a soft ding. I press the button for the 3rd floor. The doors close, and I stand alone in the stillness, counting each floor in a breath. 1, 2, 3. The doors open, and I stride into the apartment, portfolio held like a shield. Emily is there, standing by the window, arms crossed, surprise flickering across her face. She opens her mouth to speak, but her words die. She sees the documents peeking from the portfolio, the leather edges worn but dignified. I place the portfolio on the coffee table with deliberate calm, hands steady, voice clear. This is my contribution. Her jaw drops. The man beside her, Her husband stares. Silence stretches like a taut wire. I breathe in the faint scent of her favorite candle, vanilla and lavender, and feel the sweet triumph of my truth laid bare. I step into the living room and plant my portfolio on the coffee table. The leather surface scuffs against the wood, a deliberate click that fills the sudden hush. Emily and her husband stare at me, mouths agape, eyes wide. The afternoon light slants through the curtains, striking the corners of the room in golden beams. I sense the weight of their shock pressing in on me, but I stand tall, spine straight, shoulders steady. Emily's voice trembles. "Mom, what is all this?" I lift the portfolio's flap and pull out the stack of bank passbooks, each one a testament to decades of quiet sacrifice. The pages fan out like the wings of a bird ready to take flight. I lay them out, one by one, across the coffee table, alongside investment contracts and muted blue statements stamped with official seals. I place the premium credit card on top, its numbers gleaming beneath the lamp's glow. Their silence stretches. I breathe in the faint scent of vanilla emulsion paint and the soft cotton of the throw pillows. My fingers brush the edges of a passbook marked General Savings, opened in 1985 while Emily was still in my arms. I meet Emily's gaze. "I told you I lost my job," I say, voice firm but calm. "I didn't tell you I also spent 30 years building a safety net." Her brow furrows. Her husband shifts uneasily, the leather of his shoes creaking on the I describe each account. I speak of the nurse's savings plan that began with $3 tucked away from a single overtime shift. I recount the modest retirement fund that grew when I skipped lunches to piece together a few extra dollars. I reveal the mutual fund portfolio I assembled by rolling over bonuses and dividends, a quiet testament to the nights I worked while the world slept. My words flow in a controlled stream, precise and vivid. I want them to understand that this fortune was never reckless. It was deliberate, strategic, compassionate. Emily's eyes fill with tears. She whispers, "All these years, you never said a word." I nod. I fold my hands in my lap. "I wanted you to stand on your own 2 feet, sweetheart. I believed in you more than you knew." Her husband clears his throat. "But you never asked us for help." I lean forward, placing a gentle hand on Emily's arm. "I didn't want pity. I wanted pride, and I wanted a moment like this, when you see me truly." She looks down at the documents, tracing the embossed letters with trembling fingers. I watch as comprehension dawns in her eyes, followed by regret, and then awe. The hurt in her gaze softens. The anger fades, replaced by something I haven't seen in years. Humility. I stand and move to the window. The balcony door whispers open. Outside, the street lies quiet beneath a canopy of rust-red maple leaves, each one glowing in the late afternoon sun. I step onto the balcony, portfolio cradled at my hip. I look out over the silent street and feel the cool breeze lift the hem of my cardigan. My heart slows, a steady drum of contentment. I turn back inside. Emily rises, voice small. "Mom, I'm so sorry." I smile, a slow, confident curve of lips that has nothing to do with relief and everything to do with certainty. "A burden?" I say. "I've paid off every debt. I bought you this apartment. I covered your student loans. I still have enough left to retire comfortably and give to charity. Who's the real burden here?" Her tears spill freely now. She reaches for my hand. I let her. Her warmth is a salve to years of unspoken words. I return with her to the coffee table. Together we gather the papers and slip them back into the portfolio, page by careful page. Her husband stands respectfully to the side, watching me with new understanding. I sense their shared epiphany, that sacrifice is often invisible and strength often hides in silence. I step back, portfolio in hand, and place it under my arm. The room feels transformed, lighter, fresher, charged with possibility. Emily moves to me, voice choked. "Let me help you now." I trace the line of her cheek with the pad of my thumb. You already have, I whisper. I unfurl a gentle sweep of my arm, beckoning them both to follow me onto the balcony. Together we step into the fading light. I tilt my head, breathing in the cool air scented with autumn leaves. I hold the portfolio tightly against my side, not as a weapon, but as proof of a new truth, that hidden inside every act of love is the power to change hearts and destinies. I cradle Emily in my arms and look out at the quiet street below. The sky deepens to lavender. A single star twinkles just above the rooftops. I raise my eyes to hers. My voice is soft, but carries across the hush. Comment below to share your own story of hidden strength and forgiveness. And subscribe if you've ever discovered that the greatest fortunes are the ones you build in silence.